Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hello. Hello. And welcome to another fresh and fabulous year of Ask Engineer. This is 2013, and somehow we're not in jail yet.
No.
It's me.
The year is young.
Lady Ada, the engineer, and with me is Phil.
Hello, how's it going?
On camera control, we also have Cappy, the capacitor.
Yeah, we have a lot of plushies here tonight.
We'll be the red LED.
Don't show them all, we'll get to those later.
Sorry, you didn't see that. That didn't happen. Anyways, we may show you some plushies later. We've got a fabulous plushie show today.
Yeah.
What's on today's show, Phil?
Tonight's code is plushie, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store that's
including
in stock.
Plushies.
Including the plushies. We'll talk about the show and tell. Some great participants there this week. Some photos from the ITP Winter Show. Big news in the world of open source hardware, getting some stuff done, fixing things. Bunny has an awesome article, a little bit of recap of 2012, some of our popular posts, and more. We've got Adabot making the rounds on Snapchat. We've got a little bit of Makey Monday. We got mailbag.
Instead of Bieber fever, I want bot fever.
We've got some news in the world of open source hardware. We've got some stuff from the Adafruit Learning System. We've got
lots of Flora stuff came into Stop.
Wearable Wednesday.
Made Floras, shipping Floras, building stuff with them.
We got some 3D Thursday. We got some Pi Day. We got new products. Top secret stuff. We're answering your questions. We have a trivia question. All that and more. And a cat. All on Ask an Engineer.
Meow, meow.
Okay. All right. So real quick, let's pay some bills. Plushie, the code is Plushie, 10% off everything in the Adafruit store, including plushies.
Weesh.
You're really into these plushies now. You just totally skip to the end of the story.
It's right here.
It's going to be like Pulp Fiction, where it's the end, the beginning is the end.
The end, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
Garçon.
Yeah. All right.
Get me my coffee.
Yeah. This is a robbery. Okay, so let's do the show and tell. How about you start talking about the show and tell that was on it?
I should talk about it. Okay, first up we had Dino on his three-peat for robotics. He came back, and this time he had a smart wheelchair controller. He used a triple-axis accelerometer that was attached to a helmet, and then they wirelessly or maybe wiredly controlled his wheelchair so he could like tilt his head to make it go forward or back or left or right, which is kind of neat. Mike showed up with his Explora XB add-on, so he got the Explorer, which is this kind of like controller thingy that's available at Radio Shack right now. It's from Arduino. It's the latest Arduino. And it's kind of like a little game controller thing, and he noticed that there was this breakout header, so he made a breakout header and attached it to XB, and then he could use that XB to control his robot head, which he'd worked on before. So it's actually not the robot head he was showing off, but it was pretty cool. Ken tried out Circuits.io, which is, I guess, this new web service, and he made a little like Pi analog board based off our Pi tutorial for analog digital conversion, and so he made some kind of breakout with little springy terminals and the MCP 3008, which is a cute little DIP ADC. And so he said that the Circuits.io works pretty well, which is interesting. We hadn't heard yet of anyone who was really happy with it, so it was kind of cool to see.
I didn't know OS Park was doing the fulfillment.
Yeah, and then you can order the PCB. You design a PCB, and then you can order directly from OSH Park, which is Lane's PCB service, previously known as Dork.PCB. So check that out. And then finally, Jeff showed up, and he didn't have a working mic, so we did maker charades, and we determined that he made one of those parking thingies that you put in the back of your garage, so you don't hit your bicycle when you are parking your bike and you accidentally get too close to the wall. So it has these really bright-ass LEDs and a ping sensor, which is this parallax sonar, and it just like the LEDs light up, green, yellow, red as he's getting closer to his expensive bicycle. So that's really fun.
Yeah. Okay. That's the show and tell. We do the show and tell every single week. Participants on the show and tell all receive a as seen on the show and tell sticker. The email
us. We'll get you a sticker.
Yeah.
And you can stick it, or you cannot stick it. Totally.
Yeah. On your project, you can put it on and tell everybody that you got a sticker.
And it looks cool. It's one of our nice vinyl stickers, and we don't. Whoa! What?
It's time.
Oh no! Hello.
Hello.
It is Hans.
I'm supposed to do the voice.
Sorry.
Hello, I'm Hans, and I'm the 555 timer. I was designed by Hans Commons in 1971. It consists of 2 threshold triggers, an RS flip-flop, and an output buffer.
All inside here.
Yes, ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, I will see you again on the 5. The 5. The 5. All right. Do you want to tell everybody how to...
I thought I'd do the voice. I'm not clear.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody how to be on the show?
Yes, easy. Go to the Adafruit Google Plus page. It's at plus.google.com/plus Adafruit. And every Saturday afternoon we post up and say, comment here if you want to be added to the show and tell circle. We add you to the circle. Then any week you get an invite, you show up, you show your project. We do maker charades. It's a good time. And you get a sticker.
Yeah. Okay. Next up. Let's go to the news of the week. We're going to go through some of these pretty fast.
Okay.
So the ITP Winter Show just happened. And if you want to see some great photos, stop on the Adafruit blog, and we link to some great stuff, really cool projects this year. This is one of our friends, Matt Richardson. Yeah. He has one where you tweet and the birds talk back. Really neat kind of storefront thing.
Yeah.
News around the web. Next up. Scratch. 3 million projects on the Scratch website, scratch.mit.edu. And
yeah, it's cool. This is a long-term project. So Scratch is, I remember Scratch being worked on when I was at MIT. So this is a very long project, and they're sticking with it.
Yeah. It's pretty neat to see Scratch hit hardware. There's hardware stuff that you can do with it. And then, of course, Scratch and the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
Lots of people doing stuff with that. And that might be a way that you could teach kids computer programming, or at least getting the idea in their head that you can make games and make things in addition to just tapping a screen.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Next up, props and congratulations to our friends at iFixit. They have a big profile.
Yeah, they got coverage.
In the they got ink, as they say, in the LA Times. Here's something. This was in my maker business category on the blog. In 2010, they earned $5.9 million in revenue selling parts, kits, and tools.
Yeah,
that's pretty neat. They've managed to do a couple things that I think is cool. One, they take apart stuff and they celebrate that. It's a cause.
Yeah, I really like their teardowns. I actually check them up because what I like about their teardowns is they don't just there's a lot of places that do teardowns, but they actually try to link to data sheets and spec out the parts.
They'll try to figure out how much based on a bill of materials things cost.
Yeah, and when we did the Connect hack, they did a Connect teardown, and actually it was a little helpful because they tore it down, they showed all the chips inside.
Yeah.
So then when we were reverse engineering, we're like, what is this weird data that we're getting out? And I remember looking at the teardown, being oh, that must be the accelerometer.
Yeah.
There's an accelerometer built in.
I think they'll go all the way down to X-raying. Parts and everything.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really neat. And the other thing is they're a cause. So they're a cool business and they're a cause. They want to encourage people to. They have a fix-it manifesto and all these things because we're throwing out so much technology. So they talk about things like conflict minerals and where all this stuff ends up. Kyle, the founder, traveled around the world. He has a blog where he's talked about the stuff. So really cool company to check out. And they also have a really good mission of documentation. So they make a service called Dazuki and Make Projects uses it, for example.
Yeah, it's super sleek.
Yeah.
It's like a sleek Instructables. It's different than Instructables.
Yeah, they have a different business model. Besides, Instructables, you can't pay them to host your content and have a co-branded or a branded destination, where Instructables, it's all you just put your stuff up there and it's all part of Instructables. So cool stuff.
Yeah,
I fix it. Next up, Bunny has an amazing article. You read this today, right?
I read it a little bit. I didn't read it in detail, but what I think the upshot, which I kind of know a little bit of this stuff, so I wasn't super reading it crazy, but I think the thing that's interesting about this article is he does make a very good point, which is especially if you're not and I actually do this a little bit. I often spec parts, and for kits and stuff, I'm usually a little bit vague about the part because first off, we get multiple suppliers. Usually, I'll just say 10K resistor because it's a pull up, whatever. But he's saying if you're actually going to manufacture many things, you have to be very, very, very specific about your BOM. And what's interesting about this is that I see a lot of the times, if you're not specific, when I do get stuff made, sometimes we do get stuff made in San Diego for us, you have to be very, very, very specific about the precise part number. Usually I actually tell them exactly where to get the part. I say you have to get it from DigiKey or another known supplier.
Yeah.
If there's a part that isn't important, I will still be very specific about it. I have to see the data sheet of the component if you want to do any substitutions. Nearly every time I've seen a manufacturing project fail is commonly a substitution mistake, or they're trying to cut corners because you spec a tantalum capacitor and they're like, well, we want to use electrolytic, or like you spec a 20% and then you put a 50%, or sorry, you spec like a 1% part.
Or you spec a part and they get it delivered the wrong way in reels instead of loose.
They get it, they get it the wrong size or the wrong package, or there's multiple models. What's interesting is, like, for example, we have this chip. This actually drives me a little crazy. The chip that we use for the LED backpacks is the HT16K33. And there's 3 models. There's a 28 pin, a 24 pin, and a 32 pin. But the pin numbering isn't in the part number.
Yeah.
Usually they do have, like, there's multiple different sizes, and it's not in the part number itself, so you have to be, like, really specific.
Yeah.
Because the part number doesn't include the number of pins, which is, like, I think kind of nuts, but, like, it happens. Also, there's commercial versus industrial temperature ranges. That can be a really big deal. There's RoHS versus non-RoHS. Sometimes a part looks very similar, but it isn't, and the Raspberry Pi was delayed because they had an Ethernet jack with the magnetics built in. Those are a little bit more expensive because they have the coils inside that do the impedance matching. And these are usually like $1 or so. And so when they went to manufacture, the factory was like, we found a jack that's only like 30 cents. Well, the reason it's 30 cents, why? Because it doesn't have the magnetics in it. It's left out. So, they made like, a couple hundred of these or 1,000, who knows, and with the wrong part, and the Ethernet just didn't work. And it's like the rework. Pulling off this part and putting another part is extremely labor intensive. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to undo things with electronics. So picking the right part, avoiding this issue is really key. I've definitely seen boost converters that had wrong size inductors. So you plug it in, and then the inductor blows up. So it's like, okay, obviously, like, this isn't going to work out. Header, the incorrect, like, male headers used instead of female headers used instead of male headers put on the wrong side, wrong parts ordered. I mean, I've seen a lot. So the more specific you are in the BOM, the less likely you are to have errors.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's something that a lot of people skip because they're like, well, resistor, capacitor. They don't realize how this can be screwed up. I'm super paranoid.
Bunny's doing a manufacturing class in Shenzhen in conjunction with MIT Media Lab. So this is the first time I think anyone's like kind of taught manufacturing. Can you imagine, like, being taught how to manufacture?
No, I mean, we've learned how to do it, but it's like DIY. I mean, it's interesting. Like, I'm when I did the Zoxbox kits, I got chips that were being discontinued, and I got bad sourced parts. Yeah. So I got like 500 chips, and they were actually empty inside. There was nothing inside these chips. Yeah. And I got it from a bonded place. Like they did refund me. Yeah. Because I proved, I was like, look, there is like nothing inside this chip. It is a blank piece of plastic, which is cool. But it just shows, like, just because you buy something that says something on it doesn't mean much. So also demanding that your manufacturers buy from known source suppliers. Yeah. Because there's lots of like fake Maxim and linear parts on the market.
Yeah, we post about those once in a while, and they're identical and they look great.
They look identical. People are like, oh, why are you selling this chip for like $3 when I can get it on eBay for 10 cents? And I'm like, good luck with that. They buy it and they're like, oh, it's junk. It's plastic.
Yeah, we see that a lot with all sorts of things, from power supplies to you name it. Okay, next up, we did some year-end posts. Most popular videos of the year. Make sure to look at our yearly wrap-ups. Number 1 video of last year was Phil's Paint Your Dragon costume. Yeah. It was amazing. And
scary.
The second most popular one, how to build the Adafruit Pi box. Yeah. Also, a Paint Your Dragon Phil project. Becky video. So that's a team.
That's a team.
Yeah. And then we had our top, you could check out the whole list, the top 10 blog posts by traffic. Yeah. Number 1, this was the Back to the Future build. This was not it was an example of the stuff that you can do with our products. Number 2, Pi box, big Pi here. Number 3, Flora.
That's the original photo with the
yeah, that's the first one we did.
Tan Becky nails. And I can tell by the color of Becky's nails.
Yeah, it changes in the season. And then I actually just did top 4. And then the fourth most popular one was a very recent one. This is from Beth
If we had posted this earlier in the year,
That's Scott, yeah.
Probably would have been a lot better.
What it was like to build the Siftio. And she's a really talented engineer, and she showed from start to finish the story behind it. And basically, she made and reverse engineered and did all the stuff and made a wireless Super Nintendo about this big. So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, other news around the web and everything else. Adabot, our little fun robot who lives in our factory, is on Snapchat.
Yay.
So if you want to talk to Adabot and get a little message back from Adabot, you can add Adabot to your contacts on Snapchat. Snapchat is the cool new thing.
Oh, wait.
It's time. That's Adabot calling now.
Wait.
All right, go to the other side here. Got to do this. Okay. Hello there. So another fact about the 555, it's very widespread. It's low price and good stability. It's now made by many companies. As of 2003, it's estimated that there are 1 billion units of me. All right, let's get back to the show. We'll see that guy very soon. Okay, so that's Hans. Next up.
On the fives.
Yeah, 555. Who's that guy on the voice there? All right, back to the show. So anyways, so for the youngins out there, because we have kids really like building stuff and making stuff. They like you. You know, you've got pink hair. You're kind of like a maker celebrity, and so we wanted to have a place and an entity, a thing, a living thing like a Adabot.
Yeah.
For people to say hi to. So we do, if you sign up on Snapchat and message Adabot maybe will send you a snapshot of what's going on in the factory or a little Adabot wave. So we do that. So anyways, we're trying this out. There's these new services and we try them out and we say. So puppets talking to people. All right, next up, Makey Monday. Every week we have Makey Monday where we show some cool projects.
Don't forget to send in your project if you made a Makey project.
So this one was some type of banana player. And then this one was an egg carton piano, I believe. This was potato drums. And what's neat is to see how these kids are doing this stuff. And then this was a tin can Pac-Man game. So like you'd hit one of the things and it would play all that. Really cool stuff to see. Okay, next up, mailbag. Fish packet mailbag. Mailbag. So this one is very timely. Lady Ado is pleased to hear your new title of entrepreneur. You're proof that you can have your cake and eat it too. As far as open hardware goes, you're both successful and true to your open hardware roots. YLM benefits every day from your software, web ID, libraries, demo code, hardware, Arduino, ProtoShield, and your tutorials and your leadership. You're enabling a future talent, a future that I want to live in. I thank you for that. I look forward to what you're doing in 213 because it will surely bring you are on the upswing. Very cool stuff.
I want cake and eating it.
Yeah, that's an interesting phrase. Have your cake and eat it too. What would you do with cake if you didn't eat it?
Squish it between your toes.
Really? Okay. All right.
Why did you have to ask?
Why did I have to ask? All right, we're going to keep moving along here. Google Communities, Google Plus Communities.
Yeah,
big
check it
deal.
out. How many people do we have? We have like 30,000?
Like 33,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's makers,
artists,
hackers, and engineers. And it's
painters, a lot of art drawing. And
yeah, we wanted to expand what it means to be, in this world of making, and not just electronics. Mm-hmm. Everybody makes something.
Yeah.
So it's a really neat place. And this week we have a video. So let's watch it.
Okay. That was cool.
That was neat. So next up, some things in the world of open source hardware. This was kind of neat. I saw this on the Seed site. Someone made an open source hardware button.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
turn it on.
Yeah, so it glows.
Yeah, it's a lot like the little buttons we have, but instead of a ring, it has the logo in the middle.
And for the folks who follow the world in open source hardware, there was some questions about could everyone use the logo, and the answer is yes. That was a big thing in 2012. Everyone can use the logo pretty much for everything they want.
Yeah.
And everyone has, and it's been really neat. So now it's on a button. Very cool. Speaking of open source hardware, SparkFun celebrating 10 years.
Not ParkFun.
Not ParkFun.
They said this was before their logo change.
This is before the logo change. 10 years of SparkFun. I think they're a 23 or something $1 million company.
Yeah.
Been at it for 10 years. And the way that I always look at companies in this arena, especially SparkFun.
Yeah.
I remember when it was like Nate and I was writing about them on Fridays when they had their new product posts. They're kind of like the older brother.
I remember like buying GPS modules. Like, this is like the only place in the world you can get GPS modules.
Yeah, and they're kind of like the older brother that's been out there doing this and you know, stayed out late at night and got in trouble and broke all the rules and then did all the stuff that, you know, as the younger sibling, your parents are like, oh, you know, we've already been through this, it's cool. So business is easier because people could say, oh, it's kind of like a SparkFun thing. Or the big question is this whole thing that we're doing, open source hardware, a business? Is it real? And so there's two good examples I like to point to. One, you're Entrepreneur of the Year. Congratulations, Lady Ada. And two, SparkFun's been at it for 10 years.
That's a long time.
Selling electronics and a double-digit multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't just like a hobby. This is the real deal. So congratulations to them.
This is cool. I like this old photo because this is like, you know, it's like everyone starts with a table. You know, like I remember we used to do table stuff too, like when we, you know, first showing at Blip and Bent.
Oh yeah. Did we all get our starts the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing shows.
And then they're working on their new headquarters. This is they're doing a 4.3 acre, 80,000 square foot location. So that's gigantic.
It's at SparkFun Mall.
It's gigantic. it's in this office thing area where there's IBM headquarters and they're buying land and they're doing all sorts of stuff. So what's cool for us as a company to watch is like, well, maybe that'll be something we do one day.
Yeah.
Because we're all in this open hardware community together. So it's neat to watch this. So anyways, congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And here's to another 10 years.
10 years is a long time.
Yeah, and it is to do this. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. We got some cool stuff this week. Do you want to talk about it?
Yes.
Yeah. We're now selling
Euros.
No. This is actually
a gyro.
A tutorial.
Not to be confused with the tasty lamb-filled treat. These are our triple axis gyros. They're super popular, and some people wanted a little bit of help getting them up and running. So we wrote a lovely tutorial. Bill Earl published this week. It's got some example code. It's got a library. This gyro is great to use with an Arduino, but you can use it with any other microcontroller. It has I2C and SPI, although we think I2C is a little bit easier to use in general, and has interrupts and stuff. And what I liked about this design is this is a Kevin Townsend design. Is we put 4 mounting holes on it because a gyro it measures twist, and so if the board is shifting, you know, it'll add error because usually you have to add the amount of twisting to know your actual angle. So having it be solidly mounted onto whatever you're measuring will help reduce, you know, any drift. Well, I mean, there's always going to be some drift, but it'll reduce the drift somewhat.
Okay. And then next up, just another update to Raspberry Pi tutorial on, I think, VPN.
VPN. This is for Mac VPN. They show how to do it without, you don't have to install software.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And that's pretty much it. So that's the Adafruit Learning System stuff for the week. Wearable Wednesday, running a little bit behind, but I'm going to speed it up here. So Wearable Wednesday, we celebrate Flora and all things wearable. Big week. We made hundreds of Floras. We're going to be making more. This is a shot from the factory.
Yeah.
And then here someone made this really neat pixel camera hat thing. And then they made a little video. So I'll just play a couple seconds of it here. One of the things I learned recently is make sure I don't bring in the audio for videos that I'm going to show from someone else because they often use copyrighted music, and then our video gets flagged.
I don't know what's going on here. This is cool.
So anyways, isn't that neat?
She's out there. She's in space.
And then next up, this is from Trammell. This is a stop motion of building the Times Square watch.
Yeah. I like how he stop motion the rotating.
Yeah.
That's super cute.
That was really neat. And then, let me see how I'm doing on time here.
Uh-oh. Is it almost time?
No, I got time.
Okay.
All right. And then next up, this watch is done. This is our friend Mike Esty, he has a Flora, and he started to make stuff. The Flora's hidden in there, and here's some of the.
He looks
shots.
grumpy in this photo, but he's not usually that. He's not grumpy.
He's always smiling, and he's a really talented designer, engineer, and can sew and make all sorts of great stuff. And we're excited to see him use the Flora. So we're gonna.
Yeah, he came up with this interesting idea. He found that it would be. I mean, we didn't have our tutorial out yet about how to use thread, and so he had a little bit of an issue getting the thread to attach to the Flora well. So he used these crimps to crimp them on, which I thought was an interesting idea.
Yeah. And before we go to the video, we've got to go and do this thing here. Hello again, it's me, Hans. I'm the 555 timer, and I want to tell you I was designed in 1971, and it was by Signetics, and it was later acquired by Philips. Goodbye.
I don't know how to.
Goodbye. Okay. All right, we'll see him.
I don't know how to.
We'll see him in 10 minutes.
I don't know what 555s do.
Yeah.
I mean, other than notify you.
Yeah, we have to work that out. Okay, next up. We have a video from Becky for Wearable Wednesday. Sit back and enjoy the best video on wearable electronics tips and all this stuff.
I Googled for conductive thread tutorial before this and nothing came up, but now something comes up.
This is a foundation video, foundational video.
Yeah.
If you want to do anything with wearable electronics. Shall we watch it?
I'm ready, yeah.
Okay.
Let's go.
Welcome to Wearable Wednesday. Today we'll be talking all about conductive thread. What's it made out of? How does it work? What's it good for? What's it not good for? And other tips, tricks, and techniques to get you sewing pixels like a pro in no time. Let's get started.
A great beginner project for conductive thread is to make a pair of touchscreen compatible gloves. Just sew a bit of conductive yarn into the tip of the finger, leaving the tails inside the finger of the glove. The yarn conducts from the screen inside the glove to your finger, so you don't have to take your gloves off to use your phone. This thread is stainless steel, but the fuzziness of the yarn will make sure it won't scratch the glass. Here's an embroidered circuit I made in 2008 with silver-plated nylon thread, and over time the filings that comprise the plating tarnish and oxidize and prevent electrons from being able to flow. The thread turns black and the circuit stops working. It's so sad. I highly recommend using an embroidery hoop to stabilize your fabric, especially if you're new to sewing in general. It'll hold the fabric taut like the head of a drum, so all you have to worry about is where the thread goes. It's easiest to thread your needle when the thread has a clean-cut edge that's been moistened a little bit. Conductive thread acts like uninsulated wire, so when we're making circuits with it, you have to make sure to secure the tails of the thread so they don't flop around and cause any short circuits. One way to do that is, as you see here, to take the needle on the back of your work and twist it in between previous stitches and then cut the tail short. Different types of stitches will have different functional and aesthetic qualities that you'll want to know about before you begin your project, so do your research on some basic hand embroidery stitches. Here I'm doing a basic running stitch, but I'm also catching the tail of the thread on the exterior of the garment. It kind of like traces where the power line goes, as well as supplies an additional conductor. My favorite way to seal the ends of conductive thread is with clear nail polish. And you just dab a little bit on the knot, let it dry, and then cut it short. Otherwise, the knots have a tendency to loosen because the steel is such a springy substance. But if you seal them like this, the connections will be very strong and last a really long time. This thread has a tendency to get very twisted, and so if you're having that problem, just let it hang out. If you're sewing on a very thick garment like this jacket, you can use a pair of pliers to help pull the needle through the fabric. Your multimeter is a critical tool in any wearable project, and you should make sure you check for shorts before you power up your project. For small components like these smart pixels, I like to seal in the components with clear nail polish. It just helps me double ensure I won't have any shorts in my circuit. These RGB smart pixels share power and ground lines but need one short data connection between each pixel as they chain together. Here you can see that instead of tying a knot at each end of this short connection, I'm making it doubled over with one length of thread tied in one knot in the center of the junction. The pixels in this jacket are all working fine, but if one of your pixels not lighting up, it can prevent all of the rest of them in the chain from lighting up as well. So to identify the bad pixel, use alligator clips to short the data pin from your flora to the next possible working pixel. Then you can figure out which one's wrong, find out what's wrong in the circuit, and repair or replace it. These pixels can draw a lot of current, so conductive thread might not be the best material to use for power and ground rails for large quantities of pixels. For just a few, though, it works great, and we'll show you how to make this jacket in an upcoming episode, so now's a great time to subscribe. You should always use the right tool for the job, and in this TV Be Gone jacket tutorial, I showed you how to use stranded wire to carry the current from the battery pack in the pocket up to the lapel, and conductive thread to make a zipper switch. It's activated when the metal zipper pull passes by two small pads of conductive thread. All of the projects mentioned in this video are linked in the description below, and there's a tutorial on the Adafruit learning system with even more info on conductive thread.
I can't wait to see your wearable project in the Adafruit Flickr pool or on our weekly show and tell on Google+. So if you like our videos, don't forget to give us a like, a share, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube.
Okay, and
Wow, Becky gave
out.
away all of our secrets.
yeah, that's fantastic. So, like you were saying, and no joke, we looked around. There is no video, there's no tutorial that has all of this in one spot. This will get you going. It's so cool. This is in Becky's zone. She's the expert.
Yeah.
She's the director of our wearable electronics department.
That's right.
So
Pick up a
all
flora.
right.
We have them in stock, so now's a good time.
Yeah.
To get a flora and build your own cool project.
Yeah.
We got lots of thread in stock too.
Paint Your Dragon Phil said, don't want shorts in your circuit. With Flora, a circuit in your shorts is okay, though. That's funny. Okay, moving right along here. We've got some 3D Thursday. 3D Thursday, we celebrate all the things that go on in the world of 3D.
Yeah.
We have some cool posts this week, and Matt has a video. This one is...
This
one
I sent you, yeah. I
Yeah, I
found.
really
I don't
like
know.
this.
I don't remember where I found this, but this was like crazy cool.
Yeah.
It's like the genetic tree of
3D printers. And watch
3D
this. We're going to
printers.
zoom in and drown. Look at this. Like, you can go to different parts of the tree. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of...
There's so many of these. They all have crazy names.
Yeah, Matt has an update on a project that he's working on. Let's go to the video.
Hey folks, it's Matt Griffin, Director of Community and Support at Adafruit, and want to share something I've been working on the last couple of weeks. I've been working on a Times Square watch enclosure project. I wanted to take the rectilinear shape of the LED matrix and see if I can make a rounded organic shape that's sort of wrapped around it that you can just very easily make your DIY watch kit and insert the electronic components in the back and pin it in place and have some extended buttons. And here it is. This is my first take on it. You have these little buttons here you can press on the side. I've got it in a special mode here. I built this around one of the test versions. So the actual DIY watch kits are red LEDs, and this is a sort of a test batch that are white. This is going to go up on Thingiverse any second. I'm getting ready to publish it. I have a little buckle and a whole method here with the slits in the back plate, so that you can actually mount this any number of ways, including making a version you can hang as a pendant or mount on a like a backpack strap or bag strap. You can even mount it sort of crosswise to put it in the center of something if you wanted. So I'm hoping people will have a lot of fun with this. I'm going to share all my design docs, and I'm putting together a learning system piece for it now to show you how I made this so that you can make your own version, which I'm really, really looking forward to seeing. Hey folks, it's Matt Griffin, Director of Community and Support at Adafruit, and want to share something I've been working on the last couple of weeks. I've been working on a Times Square watch enclosure project. I wanted to take the rectilinear shape of the LED matrix and see if I can make a rounded organic shape that's sort of wrapped around it that you can just very easily make your DIY watch kit and insert the electronic components in the back and pin it.
There you go. Sorry about that. We had two the video played twice. It started to loop over again.
Sorry.
It was so good we played it twice. This is the watch. This is a photo of the enclosure. And what's neat about this enclosure, it can be lots of different things, like a pocket watch, a pendant, all that stuff. So check the blog tomorrow. You'll see a post with all the stuff if you want to print out your own 3D enclosure.
It's also a preview of the white version of this watch.
That's right. That's good. Okay. Next up.
It's Pi Day.
It's Pi Day. I'm going to blow through this stuff pretty quick because we got to get new products. We have a lot of new products to talk about. Pi Day. Some cool stuff in the world of Pi.
Okay.
This was
this is a photography project.
Yeah, this is a cool photography project.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Milk. Or water.
Yeah. And then this is a really cool Raspberry Pi education manual.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is the beginnings of like a curriculum that will use the Raspberry Pi, which I thought was neat. It covers a bunch of different things, like Scratch and GPIO and setting it up and connecting stuff, and yeah, so it's like it's very beginning. It's the start, but hopefully it'll do what the Raspberry Pi Foundation is hoping to do, which is
It's that time again.
It's that time again.
Yeah, we're trying to, talk about the 555 timers in every 5 minutes. Hello, here I am, Hans again. Good to see you 5 times tonight. I have 3 modes, monostable, astable, and bistable. If you want to know about the bistable mode, it's also called the Schmidt trigger. Okay, goodbye. All right, let's go back to the show here. So yeah, that's the manual.
Yeah. I went through it. It's cool.
Yeah, they did a good job. Okay, and then last up, we sponsored the Magpie magazine.
Yes, the magazine. They're going to have print versions.
Yeah, we're
which is
backer.
neat. It was previously a PDF only, but it's kind of cool because it's kind of like a crowdsourced magazine.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of people get together and like let's just write some articles and publish stuff about Raspberry Pi projects. So it's cool. I like it because it kind of it reminds me a little bit of like old Byte magazines and like the Commodore 64 magazines. Remember those?
Yeah.
And like here are some programs you can type into your
Yeah, and this is
Cocoa.
like made on a Raspberry Pi too, like using open office stuff. They're hardcore.
It is hardcore.
Okay, before we go on to new products, time to pay the bills. Look at a bill of materials too. It's Plushie. Plushie's a code tonight. 10% off everything that you...
Some plushies.
Yeah. Everything. Okay. You ready for this?
If it's in stock.
Yeah. So here it is. It is now time for new products.
Okay.
New products. Okay. Big release of Circuit Playground. Circuit Playground is our app that lets you do cool engineering.
What's in this update?
Well, we just did a minor update, and it's at the point where it's very stable.
Yeah.
It has everything we want.
I think we got rid of all the bugs.
Glowing reviews on iTunes. It is featured. Apple featured it in the education section.
Physics section.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
education section, physics, inside
Yeah.
there. You can search for it. And it's being called the best app on iOS for engineers.
Really? Who said that?
Look at the reviews.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually even highlight. We 5 stars.
5 stars.
So with that being said, Circuit Playground is going to continually turn into different things. We're going to have a game for it. We're going to have all sorts of fun things for young engineers. We're going to have all sorts of things for everybody, just to get people inspired to learn. So imagine if Angry Birds was teaching electronics, or imagine if there's
All it taught me was to hate ham.
Yeah. Or imagine if, like, Zelda was actually building a circuit board. Imagine those things. Well, this is the first step, and the first step is to introduce you to Circuit Playground, the app, and Adabot makes an appearance in this new video about Circuit Playground, the current version, and all the things it does. And Colin, who's just recently joined as a creative engineer, did the video.
Made a lovely video.
With the staff.
Let's see this video.
This is going to be great. This is kind of Adabot's debut.
All right.
Okay.
He's ready.
On the big screen.
Okay.
Here at Adafruit Industries, we've designed Circuit Playground as a powerful tool for all electronics makers. From seasoned veterans to curious hardware hackers and even us. We use it here at Adafruit headquarters. Adabot, could you please show the people what I'm talking about?
Certainly. Here we have Becky testing out the AT Tiny 85 chip. Used to need TV be gone. Circuit Playground's pinouts reference comes in handy for this. Nice work, Becky. Here's a microcontroller badge. And here we have James using Circuit Playground's PCB trace width calculator to aid in his PCB design process.
That's right, Adabot.
Eagle skill badge. For you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, hi, Bacon. What are you up to?
I just finished a fresh batch of GPS modules.
Very cool. You can show it off in the show and tell.
Good idea.
Excellent. And that's just a few of the things you can do with Circuit Playground. Back to you, Colin.
So the next time you need a quick schematic for a 555 circuit, or could use a hand deciphering a resistor color code, Circuit Playground has you covered. Yeah, what's up? It is also useful when building and or designing robots. If I could.
Okay, so
These are
I just want to point out that Adabot actually operated the iPad.
Yeah,
It's good. Adabot's capacitive.
that's right.
Those were all actual. That was an actual Adabot. There was no stunt Adabot. That was an actual Adabot.
We only have one Adabot.
Yeah. So I just want to say that is a fantastic video. Colin completely did.
Oh, it's so cute.
A beautiful job with bringing something to life. Adabot's really important.
I definitely
to us.
want him to be part of Circuit Playground. I want him to be somebody you visit.
Yeah, and so you'll see
Colin's
more.
Castle.
You'll see more of Adabot. And speaking of Circuit Playground, so this week was a big week for us with new products. Circuit Playground, these little characters that everybody's been seeing soon, or will be seeing soon. And there's Adabot with all the little characters, and those look like plushies. And that's right, we actually have real plushies of each and every single
Cappy.
little component you saw there. So here's some great photos. We're going to go through these real quick. This is Cappy, the capacitor, kind of the older one of the group. And we have a little story about each one. And we'll show you them over on the overhead in a second. Here's Hans. Hans has been making an appearance. We can skip the next one. Cool. So Hans will just show up at the end of the show. Here he is again. And it took us about a year to get these right. It's no one's ever made electronic components as plushies. So these are real. We have thousands of these. They're selling very briskly. I'm worried that one will sell out before the other. This is Mo the Resistor. Connie.
Oh, and they have like bendy
Transistor.
legs, so that the
Yeah.
legs have wire in them, so you can pose them or insert them into your circuit board.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cute. You can also have them.
Yeah. Well, we'll go to the overhead in a second and show you them. But these are really high quality. We wanted to make sure that they were accurate. We wanted to make sure that they were cuddly and cute. We wanted to make sure they were beautiful. We wanted to make sure they were well made. This was a big deal for us. We never manufactured stuff like this before. This is Gus, the green LED. And then there's one LED that's still a little late to arrive, and this is Billy. And Billy's actually my favorite one, so it figures. Billy is a blue LED, and she sings the blues. She's named after Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
So all of these are also being made into Muppets, or the right term, puppets, that'll be on our kids show that we're working on. So each one of these, and these will also show up in our game that we're working on. So let me go to the overhead real quick, if you want to show each one real quick,
Okay.
Lady Ada.
This is Hans, which you've already seen.
Yeah.
The 555.
Yeah.
And he's got 8 little legs, and then the legs are bendable, so you can have him sit up or like wave. That's kind of cute, or like be very shy. And this is the electrolytic capacitor, Cappy.
Yeah.
And he's got the marking, so you know which side is negative, and he's got one leg is longer than the other.
Yeah.
positive
And these
leg.
all bend.
And they all, yeah, this one just bends, and so
There's,
You can make him like sit and stuff. Although it's hard to do
they
on
grip
the
around
overhead.
things.
Yeah, you can have it grip stuff. And then he's got the little venting area up here, and they all have these tags on them. Legally you have to have tags, so we thought we'd have to make cute little tags that Adafruit on them. And they have a nice little paper thing.
Yeah.
This is Mo. Mo is a resistor, and he's got the nice squishy yellow with stripes color, so you can figure out what value he is.
Yeah.
And you can also just kind of like side together, and he's happy. Hello.
Yeah.
We also have
Ruby,
the red LED, and the LEDs have a little skirt to mimic the LEDs have a little skirt to keep them upright, sort of.
Yeah.
And this one's sort of roundish and soft, and then they also have a long positive lead.
Yeah.
So you know which way to.
And for all the folks who are asking, we're working on a plushy pillowcase, so you can a long one and a shorter one, so you can have these on a bed
This is
and
the green,
as a throw pillow
This is
too.
the green LED. Gus. This is the green LED, and like we said, there's also blue LED, which she's still backstage putting her makeup on. She's not quite ready, but we've got Gus and Ruby, and then finally we have Connie, the transistor.
Yeah.
He's got 3 legs.
So we'll add more later, but this is the first round.
Hello. They're really soft.
Yeah. We really like
super
these.
squishy.
And so one of our goals is for kids, kids worship a SpongeBob. Why not have something that can teach them about stuff? Here's an LED. This is what's inside of a phone, or this is one of the things on a computer. So we think
They're not quite to scale.
yeah, they're
They're pretty close though. Uh-oh.
yeah.
We're gonna skip-
Hanzai. Hello. Yeah. Okay.
And then we'll probably be adding more there's lots of parts that we didn't have, like, inductors and different chips and stuff, and big transistors and
Yeah.
and plugs and connectors and power supplies. So we'll see what we're gonna do. But we thought this would be a very good start.
We're going to run a couple of minutes late tonight. It's okay. We have so much stuff to show. But
Okay.
this was a big deal for us. This is kind of our way of trying to inspire younger kids and their parents to just get the idea that electronics are approachable and these things you can learn
These
from.
two guys are set. You can
And
tell.
imagine for all of you out there who do engineering or makers, imagine if you knew what a capacitor was at a really young age. What would you'd be years ahead. So this is one of the things that we think can help spark the young minds of people out there.
This is ready for power. We need to get a battery. Plug this in. They do not function, unfortunately. There's just
All right.
plushies.
So that's our thing, and that's why we did it. Okay. Next up, we got to keep moving along here. Next up, look at this beautiful photo that John Junior did.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a really nice brass sponge cleaner.
Yeah.
Some people were asking us to carry a brass sponge cleaner. I was like, yeah, good point.
Wanna
And
go to the overhead
Hacko
real
has
quick?
a nice one.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got this brass sponge. And this is like super glam. Like, it looks cool. It's aluminum, and they gold plate, not gold plate, but they gold anodize it or something. And some people like them. I'm not a huge fan. I like a sponge more, but you poke your tip in, and then you kind of go poke, and then it scratches off the flux and the solder. It doesn't cool down the tip, which some people like. I actually kind of like a little bit of being able to clean it off. It does do a better job of cleaning off like caked on flux and oxidation.
Yeah.
I have both, but it's kind of up to some. Some people like this, some people like the other. You don't need to wet this.
Yeah.
It stays clean. I don't know.
What's weird is now when I look at all electronics, I just see it as something that can be turned into a puppet. Anyways, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's like a little robot now. That's like C-3PO. Okay. Anyways,
Goodbye.
yeah, I know. Everything is becoming animated.
Yeah.
It might be because I haven't slept yet. Okay. Next up, back in stock.
Thread. They're on a different spool, but we still have thread.
Yeah.
We have this lovely thread, both 3-ply and 2-ply.
Yeah. All right. More fabric. Look at this.
Yeah, we got this fabric in. So now that we have thread in, we also had a chance to stock some fabric, and we have 2 fabrics.
Conductive fabric.
Conductive fabrics. So the first one is sort of it's basically a taffeta. It sort of feels like it's a little crinkly. It's a taffeta. It's a silver-plated nylon woven. So it's a little less expensive and it's a little stiffer. Which might be good for some situations. It'll hold its shape better, that's for sure. And you can cut this into ribbons.
Is this what's
sew
found in
directly.
fencing suits? People want to know?
I don't know what they use
Yeah.
on fencing suits, but it's a taffeta fabric, and it's used for anti-static stuff too. So I don't know. I mean, it's just silver coated nylon. We also have a knit, and the knit is more flexible. So the nylon, it's flexible, but it's not. It doesn't stretch. It's woven, so like you're not going to get any stretch in any direction. The knit is actually 100% silver threads, and it does have a little bit of stretch, not tons, but it has maybe like 10% stretch this way and then 5% stretch this way. So if you need something softer, this has a softer feel. Like this is a little bit tough to have against skin. It might be a little annoying after a while. This is soft. It feels like a nylon, but it's actually 100% silver.
How do you connect electronics to it that you do wearable electronics with?
You would use our stainless steel thread. Although silver you can solder to.
Yeah.
So you can solder to this fabric. Although you have to be very careful, very very careful. It is technically possible to do it.
Yeah.
But you have to be very fast and you have to be pretty skilled.
Yeah.
So instead, I suggest sewing into it with the thread we have.
Give me a good example of a project that you would use with this.
So, like for example, if you wanted to make like gloves with a capacitive touchpad, this would be good for it. Or if you wanted to, if you wanted to add to the plushies, if you want to add a conductive thing for like a makey, so you could touch it and it would be.
So like
conductive.
a soft game controller, you can.
Yeah, you could do stuff like that. There's all sorts of projects. I mean, like I see all sorts of stuff. I see embroidery that uses this as pads. I see often if we use capacitive touch pads because they're large and conductive. If you want to do electronics and you want to maybe cut out a pattern, like a circuit trace pattern, and then solder or sew parts in place.
Could you wire up like a controller to control your phone or like playlists
like
and all that? Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
that's the kind of conductive stuff you can do. So it's extremely conductive. Like it's
very futuristic.
Yeah,
I like where we're
cool.
going with
I mean, I like how we have both the knit, which is sort of soft,
Yeah.
and then this, which is a little stiffer.
One thing I notice people they always want to know, can this stuff block?
Yeah, this is completely blocking. So this is often
This could block stuff.
Yeah, this will block any RF.
So this you could make
It's solidly conductive.
you could make a very stylish tinfoil hat.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah. In fact, it's more expensive, but it would be nicer looking.
Yeah. This year, conspiracies are out. Okay, let's go. Next up, we're almost on a new product. We have a couple more wearable things.
This is kind of neat. This is a little magnetic strap. These are used for like name badges, but I thought this would be handy. Becky came up with this idea, and I was like, "That's a good idea." It's a thing that you can put onto the back of the Flora, and that way you can attach it to your clothing or detach it, especially if you have a standalone thing where like parts are soldered onto the Flora, so you can attach and detach it very easily.
Okay. Next up, congratulations to our friend Matt Richardson and Shawn Wallace. They got their book, Getting Started with Raspberry Pi, out. Lots of shout-outs and examples from Adafruit in there. Very cool. It's stocked in our store.
Yep.
It's also 10% off tonight. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Okay. And then my favorite product this week.
This is the last of the PermaPies.
Yeah.
So it's a PermaProto crossed with a cobbler. So you get...
It's my favorite, like, electronic product that we have.
So you have it's basically like, you have this proto board, but it has a header in the center so you can connect your Raspberry Pi, and then you have all the breakouts, and you have a couple rows of pins that are free for like if you want to connect something else. It's not very big. We have two bigger sizes. But for some small projects, maybe if you just want to connect like a couple LEDs or a button or something, this could be a very easy way to get that going. And it's just like our PermaProtos, so they're super easy to use. Lovely. They've got the full 3-color silk screen and a white mask, and it looks really good. Very clear labeling, very easy to use.
So this is my favorite like new thing that we made.
Yeah. So now we have this in small, medium, and large.
Yeah. Last week it was our little breakout board, and then the plushies, they're new, but we've been working on them for a year. And then actually, what? I like the magnetic floor thing. I like them all because I was watching with Becky. She showed it to me. I'm like, oh, this is like
it's very smart.
Yeah, this is so neat because you could quickly take something on and off.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Anyway.
Becky suggested like nearly everything we have in the wearables category. She's just been like excellent at just picking out the right stuff. She's like, this would be really handy, and I'm like, yeah, that would be really handy.
Okay, this is the end of new products.
Yes.
Okay, new products over. Don't forget, code tonight, plushie. All right, we're gonna zip through and try to answer some questions. Someone wants to know, where do you get your boards manufactured? Most of the time, almost all of them are from Advanced Circuits. They make awesome, sturdy, beautiful boards.
Yeah.
People comment, I love your PCBs.
That's not a common thing you hear on the street.
Today, I think there was an email that said, "I love the quality and look of your PCBs, and what brand of nail polish are you wearing?" They weren't asking me. They don't know mine.
You only wear.
I just get mine from CVS.
You get your nail polish only.
Yeah. But they were asking. They're commenting on Becky's nails are always beautiful.
Becky has great nails.
Okay. Next up, why don't you sell Lego Technic? They're kind of hard to be resellers. It'd be nice.
Usually, the bigger the brand, the harder it is to resell it. They don't want a lot of sellers because they don't want a lot of competition.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, if I've calculated that I need about 6 ohm current limiting resistor for LED, is it still really necessary on such a low value?
I would put it in. It's good to stabilize it, and it'll keep your LED life long. I would just toss it in.
Can you sell 3D printer hardware? Yes. Next up.
Can I? May I? No,
yeah.
no.
And then next up, do you have an LCD that would interface to a PC's parallel port?
People have interfaced the 16x2 LCDs to a parallel port. I don't know offhand how to do it, but I know that a parallel port has the capability, and there's a lot of projects out there for PCs and Linux to do that.
Okay.
If you have one, but it has to be a true parallel port. It can't be a fake USB parallel port.
Next up, Becky said in her video that the conductive thread would not be ideal for high volumes of LED pixels because of current draw. What's an alternative to using high current in fabric?
We're working on that. It's a hard problem, and that's why you don't often see people putting tons of LEDs into fabric. It's not easy to solve, but we're working on it.
Next up.
Hopefully have something soon.
Any thoughts of doing an hour-long Ask an Engineer in addition to our show here? Well, it fluctuates. We do a half an hour of the show and tell, and then we do 1 hour.
First off, I like that the show and tell's quick, because a lot of people, you can go off and watch their project, and also sometimes we only have 4 people. We do have sometimes 10, but it's rare.
Yeah.
Rare to have 10 people.
Yeah. Some weeks we have a lot of news on the show, and we only do questions for 10 or 15 minutes, and then some weeks we have a lot more time. It's always tough. Next up. By the way, someone else needs to start an online weekly live electronic show, because we watch the show, but
it's
weird. It's weird when you watch yourself. It's like listening to recording yourself.
You sound weird.
Yeah, you sound weird. Let me see if there's any more questions. Will we have any upcoming tutorials for the Arduino Micro? We do.
We did the next keyboard. I thought that was a really good project, actually, because it showed what to do with the small size.
Yeah.
And it also used the keyboard capability.
Okay, we're going to do this. Are you going to do a series of Adafruit learning tutorials on electronics? Yeah, we have some right now.
Yeah, we have hundreds.
Yeah. Someone mentioned, a very good one, that Robot Girl has her robot party. That's very cool.
True.
That's a good one. Adabot will be showing up on that.
Yeah, robot party.
And then
all robots are invited.
Yeah, next up, how do I interface with weather sensors from a commercial weather station with no receiver? I have Arduino. What do I use with it? Wow.
It's tough. It depends. The best thing you can do is just Google and see if anyone else has gotten it working.
Next up is, would you like to see a site that takes ideas from anyone and provides the help to get it to reality? Check out Quirky. They kind of do that. Kickstarter. Kickstarter, you kind of have to have a thing. But Quirky, I think they do
communities. There's, Instructables helps people.
Yeah.
People post up questions and get answered.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Actual basics rather than how to use Excitator for products. Yeah, you should look at our tutorial series.
Yeah, the books we have are really good too.
Yeah. And
I would suggest Make Electronics. That's a really good book.
Yeah.
We carry
it. And then, because we have to do so much fundamentals when we show how to do something to build one of our products, each one has that information in it. So you should check each section out. Next one. Would you do ask an engineer from some other location traveling? You say we have. It's very difficult. We're going to be moving the show to our factory.
Whenever we did it elsewhere, people would complain that it was slow or laggy or echoey. So it's
really
tough.
Hard to find a place that's.
It's actually quite hard to do full HD streaming on the road.
There's a reason why no one else has done a show for 3 years live. We're getting old. You can actually watch us from beginning to end. Next up, thanks for the Pyre tutorials. More, please. Great.
Okay.
Which of your kits in your store is manufactured by you, but designed by others with a royalty? Well, TV Be Gone. We give Misha royalty. Dradio. And then there's other ones that we give Umlaut a royalty just for. We don't have to, but we like to. I think we're one of the few that do that. Every time we work with a maker, even if it's open source hardware, we work with them to give them a royalty. That's just
There's been
the
a
way
bunch
we
in
do
the
it.
past. Some of them are kits that are no longer
Yeah.
sold, but we've had like a half a dozen at least.
Okay. Do you still have a Bluetooth module? No, we're working on something. Stay tuned on that. And then I'm going to wrap up a couple more things. When will we see the office tour about your business? Yeah, we have to do an office tour. We got hit by Sandy, and then we had the holidays. So we're working on it. If you look at some of the videos that we're doing now, though, you can see the behind the scenes at Adafruit on Snapchat with Adabot. Adabot will show you a little bit of a tour. And then a couple more. Good CO2 sensor? Any of them out
I
there?
don't have any.
Okay.
We have to wrap up. It's 11.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, we have 3 more things we have to do.
Yeah. For the last one, we really need a studio. Yes, we're going to be building out a studio.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if we had a studio?
Yeah. Okay. If someone wants to donate $1 million, that will help us build a studio, by the way.
Yeah, studios are really expensive.
Yeah, you should look at the build out that Leo Laporte did. Huge. Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah, it's probably like a $500,000 build out.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, and they're funded. Yeah. Okay. So it's trivia question time.
Okay.
Lady Ada, what are the rules?
Okay, if you've won something from the trivia question, you can't enter again. Only one winner per lifetime. The prize is a plushie.
Yeah. Hans is going to be given away tonight. Sorry, Hans.
So the first person to answer correctly in the chat, that we see first in the chat, is the winner.
Yeah.
What's the question?
You're asking the question.
I'm asking the
And then
question.
you're going to look and see what it does.
Okay, the question is, why is the 555 timer called the 555? Don't answer if you know and you've already won something. But if you have not won something and you know, type it into the chat.
All right.
Why?
Let's see what people come up with.
Why?
Why is it called the 555 timer?
Not because he pulled change out of his pocket and he said he only had
3
5K.
5K resistors.
That is correct.
Blinky Blinky nailed it. That's a very.
Although I would have preferred if he said where the 3 5K resistors are, but I'm willing to accept that answer.
Yeah.
I'm willing to accept it.
Yeah. Because it was. Yeah, I mean, okay. Yeah, you got it. All right, congratulations. Email support@adafruit.com.
The inputs of the 555 have 5K resistors from ground to the positive input to the negative input to power, or the other way around.
Guess who's coming for dinner? Okay, so that's
Weird.
All right, so
You're obviously a 555 fan.
Yeah.
You get a 555 timer.
Yeah.
Squish, squish.
Okay, so I told George we're going over a couple minutes, so we're good.
Okay.
I have one video. It's not out yet. Don't ask. And this may never come out, by the way.
Yeah, never.
I have a little short video. It comes from Phil, Paint Your Dragon.
Let me get the pen.
And he's right there. We'll get him in a second.
he's asleep.
Yeah,
He
it's
just
fine.
woke up.
But we have a little short video of maybe something we'll see one day. Maybe we won't. It's beautiful though, so check it out.
Okay, you should. No, because
Okay, that's
now
it.
we have a cat.
All right, now we have the cat. It's
Okay.
time for the cat, and maybe you can get a couple plushies. You're gonna put Hans on top of his head. I know you
Sure.
are.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't, but now
Oh, yeah?
that you mention it,
All right.
Dana,
Meow.
Dana,
Meow.
Dana,
Meow.
Dana. It's like a face hugger, but it's
Yeah.
like a cat head hugger.
All right, folks. This is what the internet was made for. Cats with things on their head. You can actually see the dignity falling out of them.
He's very sad. Oh, sad cat.
This is kind of
He
sad.
doesn't fully understand why this is
Yeah.
happening.
Seems like he'd be happier with an LED. That's nice. Look at that. Maybe. Whoa, 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 whoa! Cat does not like LED.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Sorry.
All right.
How about the transistor?
He seems to like the dark components.
Sorry.
He's not a fan of
Okay,
the
yes,
LED. Look
yeah,
at that.
that's
He likes
nice.
Hans. Hello there, cat.
Okay, let's try the green LED. MOSFET?
Yeah.
He's okay with
What
the
mode is Hans in?
He's astable.
Astable. Okay.
Gappy?
All right, everybody. That's it for us. We're out.
I don't know why he's so scared of the red LED. The red LED has not. We have not done
Cat
any.
see colors?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Whoa.
he
No, he
doesn't,
doesn't like it.
He doesn't like it.
Maybe this.
Yeah. How about
I think this needs catnip in. I mean, we have to put catnip in.
if we
them.
put catnip in these? Yeah.
He's
It'd be kind of like,
He's not. He's not. He's not into it. No, he's not into it.
yeah.
We
Okay.
should put catnip inside of them.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Resistance is futile, Cat. So that is the show for tonight. Thank you, everyone who showed up. Our staff, a lot of people are here tonight. Colin, John, Paint Your Dragon, Becky, George, Matt, everybody showed up tonight. Special thanks to everybody who was in the show and tell, awesome show and tell. All the folks who show up every week, thank you so much. All of our customers, don't forget the code tonight is Plushie. This code expires at midnight, folks, 10% off everything.
What?
10% off.
I got it to stay on my head.
So happy the plushies are in. This is a fun thing. Bruce Yan designed the graphics. We worked with a cool company. Becky worked on it. This was a village effort to get these plushies made. I remember telling people in our community about a year ago that we were going to make electronic plushies, and I think half the time they think I'm crazy, and
we were wrapping the conductive fabric around your head.
No, I didn't have the conductive fabric, but they're real, and we'll see. This is a fun experiment. You know, one of the things you can do too is look at this. When you look at the camera, look at me. So it could be, instead of like the mustache thing that's popular, you could have these eyes. So, look at this. It's gonna be my new thing because you can wear it around your head like this. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like eyeglasses. See,
Okay.
I thought about this in advance. So Mo is going to have his own sunglass line. So, all right. So that's it. We are done.
Okay. I think you're definitely done.
Yeah, and one question someone had I'm going to answer. Who animated Adabot in the video? Well, Adabot's real, and it's a
puppet.
It's a puppet Muppet, and
Becky was controlling that.
Becky was controlling Adabot. Adabot sometimes needs assistance. I did some Muppeteering, and Colin.
Yeah.
So it was very neat. We're all getting good at operating Muppets because we're each going to be having a puppet.
All of it. Adabot has a little bit of all of us in them.
Adabot is all of us.
That's right.
There's a little bit of Adabot in all of us. Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Good night. Here is your moment of Zener.